What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and more questions for Frank. The most important one being, what the hell are you thinking? I really want to know. I want to have a sit down, a one-on-one with Frank Lampard and ask him, hey, Frank, what are you thinking? Subs today were awful. One of them cost you the game. So I want to know what's going through his head. The lineup was not too bad. I wasn't really pleased with the two defensive midfielders again, even though we saw how clearly that could backfire against West Brom on the weekend. But whatever, we'll try it again. We're still not there. I'm sorry, we're not. We don't have midfielders that can make up a midfield two right now. We don't have that big body in there that can run the midfield. We just don't. I know it makes it difficult because Havertz's best position is going to be center attacking mid in a 4-2-3-1. It doesn't matter if you're giving up goals. Your best player is not effective if you're constantly giving away possession in the midfield, if you can't get control there. So until we get, if we are going to get Rice in, he could be a good one there. But until we get somebody there that can actually control the midfield, because Conte's not doing it this season for some reason. Don't know why. Kovacic, he's fast, he's quick, but he's not good enough to do it. Jorginho, right. So until we get a midfield two that can actually run it, whether you've got one defensive midfielder that can just run it himself, like Conte used to do, or until you get a big body like Rice in, maybe, that can just win everything out of the air and constantly bully the midfielders. Until you get that, we're not going to be able to do a 4-2-3-1. We're just not. So, besides that, though, the lineup was not too bad. You got Chilwell getting some time, which is good. Spilicueta back on the right, which is good. Zuma and Tomori, it's good pairing in the back. The fact that we've got Giroud up top with Werner on the wing, I like that. I want to see more of that until we can get Pulisic and Ziyech back fit. And then, of course, giving Hudson-Odoi, Mount some minutes. Not really too pleased to see Mount getting even more time because he needs to rest. But you know what? Hey, he's getting some minutes under his belt. Hopefully he's learning from this. Hopefully he's learning from these experiences. Hopefully he learned from the miss at the end. So, all of this, all of the first half, we were very helped by the fact that Tottenham did not come to play. They came to sit in and do Mourinho's park the bus technique, which didn't really work for them because there was a mistake in the back. Reguilon, I don't remember how to pronounce his name. The defender that all these fans wanted to sign over Chilwell. How's that foot taste, by the way? So yeah, he makes a mistake and then makes another mistake and then falls to Werner, who puts it away. Good. And now Tottenham don't really have a plan because the plan was to sit in and then hopefully get some counterattack going, and it wasn't happening for them. Second half, stepped out a bit more, and then the subs happened. And we got some good chances still. We managed to weather the storm for the most part. But once the changes happened, the game started to change against us. Emerson. Why? Oh, well, Chilwell, he's not ready to play full 90. Okay, but why Emerson? Why Emerson? Did you just want to get him some minutes? Wanted to see if he's really as bad as we think he is? Did you want to confirm that? And you were just like, ask the Carabao Cup. If we go out, who really cares, right? I know it's a trophy and we always want to win trophies, but who really cares? And I know it's against Tottenham and, God, all the mind games and all the stupid stuff that Mourinho says. I know this will give him ammunition and fuel because now they beat us. But I just wanted to see if Emerson was as bad as everybody thinks. And he is. Congratulations, Frank. You figured it out. My God. He came on and did nothing aside from give away the goal. Right before the goal, there was this scuffle over there with Hudson-Odoi and Emerson and Conte all involved. Three of them, I think there were two, maybe three Tottenham players there. And Hudson-Odoi lost the ball, and then he didn't try. Conte turned and started running back. Emerson stayed. And then they go, and then we clear it, and we get it out. I'm thinking that's not good enough. Then they booted it back downfield to Reguilon, however you say his name, and we give him a chance to atone for his mistakes because he puts a ball into the back post. And Emerson's just standing there, just like James does, just like Alonso does, just standing and watching. Oh, is that my player? Is the guy that's in front of me that's breaking into goal right now? Is that the guy I'm supposed to get? Hey, coach, is that the guy I'm supposed to get? Is that him? That's him. Darn. Missed him by that much. It doesn't get more obvious than that. It does not get more obvious than that. You've got Zuma and Tomori both going up for a header against two Tottenham players in the middle, while Lamella's breaking back post with Emerson on his behind. And honestly, he wasn't even really that close. It wasn't until he realized, oh crap, that ball's over them, that he was like, maybe I should go defend now. Maybe I should go do the job I'm paid to do. So that was a dumb decision. On top of that, you also brought on Conte for Kovacic, even though Jorginho was probably your worst player in the first half. I'm going to take that back. Definitely your worst player in the first half. Don't understand that decision at all. You know, if you want to put Conte on for like Mount or for Werner, make yourself a little bit more defensive. You know, bring on a defensive midfielder for maybe a more attack-minded midfielder. That's changing it. That's providing more backup. But no, you took off one hardworking midfielder for another hardworking midfielder. That doesn't change anything. You've already made one change that made us worse on the left side, and then you made like for like. Conte's a bit quicker. Kovacic is a bit better on the ball, so they're not exactly the same, but they're basically the same player when you break it down to basics. And then you bring on Abraham for Giroud. Like for like. Giroud's more of a target man. Abraham's more of a quick with his feet. But they're essentially both hardworking strikers. Like for like. You didn't change anything, Frank. The only one thing that you changed is you brought on a terrible left back for a good left back. And that terrible left back cost you the game. So yeah, Frank's got questions to answer for me now. I'm not saying I want him out. I'm not that dumb. I'm not one of those people like, oh, he's a terrible manager. We just got to get him out. We've still got players coming in. He's still got a chance to turn things around. But he's got questions to answer. And if it doesn't get better, I would completely understand if all of a sudden his job's looking under pressure. Because this is 3 games in a row now. Okay, not 3 games in a row because Barnsley was before the West Brom game. But, I mean, this is 3 games against Premier League opposition in a row where we've looked awful. Defensively, we've looked terrible. On the attack, we haven't looked as deadly as we should. Like, there are problems here. And Frank's got to address it soon. Or else, I don't know. We know how quick Abramovich can make decisions, so I know he's still got the injuries, you know, to sort of help make his case for him. Like, well, we still don't have 2 of our best players. So, not saying that it's going to be sometime soon. But the problem is that our defense is pretty much fully fit at this point. And there's still a lot of problems. So, that being said, let's talk individuals. Mendy, pretty solid debut. Made some good saves, was good in the air. You know, Tottenham had like 4 corners, maybe 5. And didn't really look threatening from any of them, and he had a lot to do with that. You know, made a couple good punches, nearly spilled one, but even then, like, he's there. And the next thing that happens, you know, like, spills it, and then Chelsea players pressure, and then Cross comes back in, and then he's collecting that one. So, he's very, very good in the air. We knew that. That's one of the main reasons why we wanted him in. The only problem is that he's not a penalty kick keeper at all. All 5 of them guessed the wrong way, and that's a problem. Because when you guess, you look like an idiot as a keeper. And I've said this before, and I hate it when keepers do this, but I'm sorry. If you want to get beat by a good penalty, like Jorginho's penalty on Lloris, he waited, he read the shot, he tried to get down, but it was well placed, so he just couldn't get there. That's one thing. That's a good penalty. But when you're guessing the wrong way every time, when 4 in a row you go this way and it just tucks into that far corner. Maybe you couldn't have gotten there if you had waited and dove for it. But guess what? You don't look like an idiot going, huh, 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 4 times in a row. And then on the 5. Like, as a keeper coach, it irks me to see keepers do that. To see them just guess wrong and look like an idiot so many times. But, he's not going to face a whole lot of penalties, hopefully. So it's not like something that's going to absolutely piss me off. It's just because of my previous profession, it irks me more whenever I see that. So back line looked pretty solid. Zuma looked fantastic first half. Second half has some couple nervy moments here or there. Honestly, on the ball is where he looks the worst. There are too many moments where clearances go out of bounds or he's on the ball and he doesn't know what to do with it. But aside from that, defensively, he's rock solid. Tomori had a couple nervy moments defensively. He's still young, he's still learning, but I expect more out of him. And I think the West Brom game may have rattled him a bit because he didn't look as confident as he did when he played against... wait a minute. No, Christensen played against West Brom. What am I saying? My bad. But I don't know. He didn't look as solid as he did against Liverpool and then against Barnsley. Like, he didn't have the same energy level, I thought. Am I crazy? No, Christensen played against West Brom. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why. My mind is just completely blanking on... I don't remember why I thought Tomori played. Azpilicueta, Chilwell, both solid on the fullbacks. Obviously, Azpilicueta, lovely bit of skill to send Reguilon flying. And Chilwell, worked hard. He got up a lot. There were a couple times where he was caught out, but it wasn't too much. There was only one time I can think of where I was kind of disappointed, and it was just... It's something we've seen from Alonso and Emerson several times where winger has it, step out to the winger, he plays to the middle, you step in, and then the winger goes, and then it's played behind. It happened to him one time, and it was pretty obvious. Thankfully, nothing came of it, but that's the type of stuff that you got to cut out of your game, because that's why I don't like having Alonso and Emerson back there, because that happens to him all the time. But all in all, he was very solid today, and honestly, I don't know why you sub him out, because he looked like he could play the full 90. He looked fine. I didn't see any concerns for fitness, but whatever. Frank's the coach, so he gets to make the decisions. Kovacic and Jorginho. Kovacic looked okay. Didn't really do anything special, but just solid, like most of the time. Jorginho, worst player in the first half. It was thanks to Emerson that he wasn't the worst player today. And mainly just because, again, defensively, he can't cut it. I know he's supposed to be more of a distributor, but if he's going to sit deep, he's got to defend, and he doesn't do that. He doesn't do it at all. He gets turned several times. The worst one came from Tottenham's only shot that entire first half, where Lamela picks it up. Lamela's here, back to the goal. The goal is that way. Jorginho tries to cut him off going this way. Hello? Basic defending? You get in front of the goal? You put yourself in between the man and the goal. You don't cut him off from turning to go back towards his goal. We want him to do that. But Jorginho said, no, you're not cutting it back to the midfield. And Lamela's like, turn, shot, and then he makes a save. And honestly, it was almost kind of slow motion. It's almost like Lamela was shocked. Jorginho steps there and he was kind of like, wait, did you just... Okay. And then cuts it and goes to goal. I'm like, how can you make such a basic mistake? I don't get it. I really don't. For a defensive midfielder, he is shockingly bad at defending. And again, I know it's not his game, but it should be after how much he's played there. He should at least know the basic thing. You don't let the man turn in on goal. You put yourself in between the man and the goal. Very easy. But aside from that, just getting turned all the time. Honestly, his passing still isn't really that fantastic. He's no Fabregas. He can spray the ball wide occasionally, but he's still not doing anything like super successful that's making me think, yes, we need to have him out there. I never really think that about Jorginho. Anytime I see him, I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're going to have him in there again. Really don't understand that at all. And then the three in behind the striker, Werner, good goal. All in all, still not really pleased with what I'm seeing from him, though, if I'm being perfectly honest. Just there are moments where I feel like he turns off, and that's not what you want. And I talked about this when it comes to Abraham and Giroud. Honestly, that game against Barnsley, they both wanted it. They both went out there and they wanted to play. They wanted to score, and they both got it because of that. They both worked their butts off, and they got goals because of it. Werner, he got that goal today, but it was from a deflection. He got lucky that it fell to him, and then he took the shot well. There was a moment in the second half where if he's turned on, like, all he has to do is pop into space because Abraham's got it, and Abraham can lay it back to him, and then he's got a shot on goal. But instead, he's just standing because, like, Abraham was here. Goal is, I think, about right here-ish. Defender, Werner. He's just standing behind the defender, and he's not moving. And honestly, there were moments where I feel like his lack of movement was hurting us. Like, he wasn't giving us anything. And that's not what he was doing in the first game. And I don't know if maybe it's because he's not playing striker, because that's where he was in the first couple games, and maybe that's where he moves the most is when he's at striker. But honestly, I thought he looked like a player that would just work his butt off, even if he was out on the wing, and he's not doing it for us anymore. He didn't really do it against West Brom, and he didn't really do it today. And especially once that goal went in for Tottenham, I mean, he didn't give us anything, really. And we needed him to at that point. So, really, I mean, he's still got time to grow, but I want to see more from him. I want to see him keep working as hard as he did those first couple games and not keep turning off like he did today and against West Brom. Mount, not the greatest game from him, honestly. He was just sort of out there. Had a moment where he should have put it away in the second half before it went to penalties, and then misses his penalty too. So, all in all, I mean, should have done a lot better. Hudson-Odoi, also the same, had a moment where could have won us the game, slip in Tammy, boom, 2-0. But then he takes a shot on himself and goes about 20 yards over the goal. So, but yeah, second half he was just not on. A couple moments of just giving the ball away and not working hard to win it back. And honestly, that's a problem because first half he was working hard. I'm thinking, okay, he wants to play. This is a couple games in a row now where he's been one of our better players. I'm excited. I'm excited to see him fight for his spot. Even when Pulisic and Ziyech get back, he's going to fight for his spot. And then he just drops off second half like he did against not West Brom. Against Barnsley? Yeah, against Barnsley. He was working hard first half against Barnsley, and then second half, nothing from him. And that's a problem. You can't keep just shutting off in the second half. You got to keep going the full 90. Because, I mean, that's what we need. You're playing at a high level now. You got to be able to go the full game. You can't keep dropping off in form in the second half. I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's the main problem he has right now. And obviously that mistake not giving it to Tammy is a big issue. But I don't know. It's a lack of work ethic is what it is. So whenever he does get the ball, because he hasn't seen it for most of the second half, he finally gets it and his only thought is, well, I need to shoot. I've not had a chance to show what I can do, so I'm going to show it now. Instead of showing what you can do by laying it off and getting an assist. But I don't know. It's that mindset of being too lazy to work, and then when you finally get the chance, wasting it because you're doing too much. So really disappointed to see that yet again, second game in a row. Or, not in a row. You know what I mean. Second game now, within 3. Giroud, didn't see a whole lot from him today. Part of that was because we weren't really getting the ball up to him. Now, it could just be that Tottenham were squeezing him out and not letting him get chances. That's a possibility because they were all sitting deep. So there's a chance he was being marked by 2 or 3 defenders and just couldn't get on the ball. But he seems like the type of player that even when he's marked, he should still be getting on the ball. Like, not necessarily holding it up like he normally does, but at least flicking it on or at least opening up spaces for other players. And it feels like he didn't really do that today. Now, is that because the players around him are not making the runs into the spaces he's creating? I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to really tell what he's doing up there because you can only see the ball, and the ball's in our defense, so I don't see what Giroud is doing. So I don't know if the fault lies on him today or if the players around him and the players behind him are just not giving him enough. But he's typically a player that even when you try to put two defenders on him, it doesn't matter because he's still going to find moments to create opportunities for other players because now he's drawing two to him. And we didn't see that today. So a little disappointed there. As far as the other two subs, because I've already talked about Emerson, Conte came on, looked better than he did against West Brom, which, to be fair, is not that hard. He did not have a good game against West Brom. I already talked about it. Today he played better. He's quicker, moved the ball around quicker, defended better. So hopefully it's a sign that he's getting back to where he was these past few seasons we've had him. And then Abraham came on, kind of worked hard, but also turned off in a couple key moments too. So I don't know, just second half we were not on it. And Tottenham came out looking to play and got one back, shockingly enough. So all in all, obviously I'm disappointed to go out, but I'm more disappointed in the way that we went out. The fact that we were in such control of the game. The fact that we scored that goal. Tottenham were not looking to play. We had multiple chances to capitalize and make it 2, make it 3-0, and then we didn't. And then Frank's decisions to bring on Emerson and then not change the game with his other subs. And then Emerson gives away the goal, and then we don't really do anything to get the second at the end of the game when we had a few chances. There's just so many opportunities we had from the players and from the coaching standpoint to win the game, and we didn't. And then we lost some penalties. And honestly, when you go to penalties and you've got a brand new keeper, first game at the club, versus another keeper who's been at Tottenham forever and knows all the players in the league, and pretty much all of our players that took penalties are all players that have been in the league. And obviously he didn't save any of them, but still, you're asking a lot for Mendy to all of a sudden step into this. I didn't expect him to make any saves, and then he didn't. And I wasn't shocked when he didn't. And I fully expected Lloris to save one of ours. He didn't, but then, of course, Mount misses his at the end. I can't say I'm too shocked. Because we should have done our work beforehand. And typically it does happen where the team that was ahead and then gives away the goal at the end to lead to penalties. I don't know if this is a true stat or not, but all of the times I can recall where that's happened, the team that was ahead ends up losing because they were thinking game's over, and then you have to go to penalties, and then you give it away in penalties. I've seen that happen more often than not. So we should have done our job, and we didn't. And here we are, out of the Carabao Cup. One competition already checked off the list of not being able to get it this year. We didn't win any trophies last season. We better win one this season. And that was one that, you knock out Tottenham, that's already one Big Six team out of the way. You got the chance. You had the chance, and now it's gone. I don't think you're going to win the Premier League based on how Liverpool's playing, based on our form in the league. I don't think that's happening. FA Cup is still a possibility. Champions League, please. So, yeah, Frank's got a lot of questions to answer, and a lot of it is just down to the defense. And we didn't do our job in the transfer window getting defenders. We also haven't done our job yet getting better defensive midfielders. So when is our defense going to get better? Our attack has gotten better with some of the players we've gotten, but our defense is still crap. And if you can't defend, you're going to constantly be giving the ball away. You're going to constantly be chasing a game. It doesn't matter how good your attack is. If a team goes ahead on you and then decides to pack it in, it's going to be hard to score. So, yeah, there's a lot of questions to answer, and this definitely did not help answer any of the questions. So anyway, with all that being said, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this game? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.